this game is an example of it could be better. And I realized that this game is the first game, I think, of the developers. And to be fair, they didn't do a bad job, but they didn't do a great job either. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Straight Light and deciding whether it's worth it to buy right now or not. And we will be very honest and very brutal if it's necessary, and very calculating. So without further ado, let's just get it started. And as always, every single one of my videos, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away. And the answer is, well, if you are looking at this video when the price of the game is around $10 or a little bit less, then yes, it's worth it. If it's anything more, then no, it's not. This game is very average in every sense of this word, and probably the biggest downside of the game that will not make me recommend this game above $10 is the length of the game, because this game is just way too short. But now let's get into details. Oh, and this video is sponsored by, well, you just being here, and you watching this video support this channel, and which I am extremely thankful for. But if you want to support a little bit beyond that, you can hit that beautiful subscribe button down there, or if you want to go beyond that, you can go and click the join button and support the channel more tangibly and more firmly. And anyway, thanks for being here. Now to the video. So what is the Straight Lights? Straight Lights is atmospheric adventure where you're playing as, well, light. You are an energy kind of fire light creature, and your goal is to, well, kind of like ascend from birth and go this path from birth to ascension. Game has a story, but in the entire game there is not a single uttered word. So everything is shown through the facial emotions, and by the way, the creatures usually only have eyes, and by the movement. And yeah, you can understand there is a story, but yeah, there's nothing, well, that will blow your mind there. There are no real characters because you don't know any of them by name, and well, you are all lights. And the story-wise is that there's something corrupting is happening in the world, and you need to clean this world of corruption in your path to ascension. That's as simple as it can be, or at least that's what I understood the story of this game actually is. But the story in no shape or form is the forefront of the game. But the forefront of the game is, of course, the gameplay. And what many people are calling this as Souls-like with an interesting parry mechanics. And I would say that they are kind of wrong about that. Well, they're kind of right as well, but it's kind of wrong as well. It's kind of like a Sekiro, well, because you are breaking a stance of your enemies rather than draining your health. But to be fair, if you're just gonna call it draining your health, it will practically mean the same thing, at least in this game. So how this game plays. So you have your regular attack, your heavy attack, and by the way, you don't have weapons, you're using your claws to attack. You have your color changing mechanics, and you have your parry mechanics. And you also have some skills and abilities. Not much, to be fair, there's not a lot in this game. And your enemies actually have similar abilities as well, because those enemies are kind of like a corrupted version of your brothers and sisters. So when enemy attacks, they usually get a certain color. It's either orange or blue, and also purple, but about that in a second. So they will attack you with the orange color. If you will be changed into orange color, and the parry attack, basically kind of like a block attack, well, the enemy will lose their health or stance. I think it's the same thing in this game, and you will also regain some health. But if you will block attack in the different color, like for example, if they will attack in orange color and you are in a blue color, it will just block the attack. That's practically what it is. There are no health pickups in the game. You have an ability to regain your health by regenerating your mana, kind of like energy, but your main way of regaining health is through parrying in the same color. Enemies will also attack you with the purple colors, and the purple colors are practically unblockable, and all you can do is just dodge these attacks. So that practically means that all the attacks are perfectly telegraphed, and you know exactly what to do to counteract the certain attacks. Then it feels pretty interesting, and it's not that difficult to get into the combat. But where the game stumbles is an actual enemy design and actual enemies. So first things first, the enemies are, well, not spawning until you get very close to them, which is weird. And the regular enemies, the non-boss enemies, there are only few kinds of them, and they're not very difficult to defeat them. Even when you're fighting against a few of them, their attacks are so well perfectly telegraphed, and their patterns are so easy to learn. It will take probably maybe 30 minutes from the beginning of the game to be able to defeat practically everyone. So there is no real variation, there is no real challenge. Where the game actually changes a bit is with the boss fight, because each and every boss fight is a bit different, and their attack patterns is different. And unlike the regular enemies, attack patterns are also much longer, they have delays, and they are color changing much quicker. For example, they can attack with orange, blue, then pause, then orange, then pause, and then hit you with the purple. So you need to block, and then you need to dodge. It's not very difficult to learn, but the boss bosses are usually hitting much harder than the regular enemies, so it's a little more challenge. I would say challenge. And even with that, you don't get a huge penalty because, yeah, usually those boss battles are not lasting long until you will break their stance, and sometimes some of the boss fights have actually 2 stages, but when you just die, you just start all over again. I mean, the boss battle, it's not that punishing, and usually the boss battles will probably last maybe a few minutes, so you are not losing a huge progression if you're gonna die. But plus, it's pretty easy to learn boss patterns as well. Every boss battle ends with a QTE, and yeah, it's supposed to be it'll kind of look kind of epic, and it does. It looks pretty fine, but yeah, nothing that will blow your mind. As for the world and progression itself, well, in the game you do have a few hub territories, like central hub, where everything else like paths from, well, everything that's paths from, and the game is quite linear. And the progression is quite easy because you have a certain path leading from this hub, and all you need to do is just go and take this path, and when you take this path, you will eventually meet some bosses. You defeat the bosses, then you're gonna kill a central hub, then you go to the other path, do the same, and do other path, and do the same, and then over and over and over again. It's not, even though paths are kind of like different from each other, and you do have some platforming elements, platforming is way too rudimentary, and it's not a very great feeling, to be fair, because the movement mechanic is not that satisfying. But probably the biggest culprit of the game and the biggest downside of the game is its length, because the entire game, even if you're gonna take a very slow and methodical approach and die a lot, will probably take you from 4 to 6 hours. It's very, very short game, and you can easily beat this in one sitting. And that's probably the biggest reason why I would not recommend this game. Even absolute 100% of the game maybe will take you 7 to 8 hours, so yeah, recommending the game that is 7 to 8 hours, despite this being the first game of the developer, it's kind of like difficult to recommend. I understand that this is their first try, and to be fair, for the first game and for the first try, it's a good game for the first try. But here we're not to test whether it's a first try or a 100th try. We are here to see the value for the money that we pay. And I can safely say that the game at full price costs $25 for tier 1 countries, $12.50 for the tier 2 countries. And yeah, for these prices, it's very, very hard to recommend this game. Yes, $12 is maybe okay, but I still cannot and will not recommend this game for any price above $10. If you see this on one of $10 or lower, yeah, grab it, have some fun, have a good evening, yeah, complete the game, forget about the game, and move on. But other than that, for 25 bucks, just no. But I can say that it's a good first try though. If they had released this game in early access and called this an early access, and then collect all the feedback from the game, to see how people are reacting, what people are looking for in the game, and then expand it, then I would say that, yeah, I would give it a bit more chance. But since this is the finished game, since this game is over, and there won't be much there won't be much probably that will be added to the game, yeah, I won't be recommending this game for the full price, only for the heavy discount. Oh, and by the way, our Steam Curator page is already up and running, so if you want to see all of my reviews, videos, and a little bit of text review right there on Steam before you're gonna buy anything, just go and follow us there on Steam, so that you will not miss my reviews when you are buying the games. Now back to the video. Well, this is me for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe for more videos like this one. I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.